Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Namaste. Shalom. Hotep. Grand rising. Good morning. Top of the morning. All the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light. I am the Pashta. Give me one moment because for some reason when I'm on my phone and I can't stay on long because this drains my battery so badly. Something going on like when I'm outside walking, my battery goes down really low. But I'll be with you in a second. I just have to go out, do something on YouTube, and I'll be right back. Like maybe a minute, not even. Run and get your coffee, refresh your teeth. I'll be right back. Hopefully this will be good, and I'll leave it up this time. I won't spaz out. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me see. Just a second. No? Okay, I don't know what's going on with this, but peace, Lady Divine. I'm looking in the chat for now. I'm going to turn my camera off for just a second. Okay. Oh, I know what's wrong. I have I have my YouTube on, and I don't want that. Take that. Okay. I think it should be good now. Can you, Lady Divine, can you give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay? And like I said, I can't be on here too long. Dang, I only have 39% of my battery. What in the heck? I don't know what's going on with this. Can you hear me all right? Am I coming in clear? Am I coming in clear? Um, okay, great. All right, good morning to you. I hope you're having a great morning. I don't know what part of the world you're in, but where I am in the Southwest, it is not too early. Actually, it's pretty late morning, I guess. Not really. It's like 10, almost 10. Let me see. Is it almost 10? Oh, it's 10:30. Wow. Yeah, it's not early. God, it's 10:30. Oh, Lord. All right. So, going to get this walk in very quickly. Then I'm going to get back to, I had to jump out running errands, doing things for work, and I got to get this walk in. So I said, let me talk to my people. So I said, let me
get on the internet and start running my mouth again. So I'm not looking in chat. Ben Frank, I just looked in the chat after I said I'm not. Hybrid Cypher, hi. Much love to you guys. I hope you're having a great day. Do something really good for yourselves. Like, do something that you'd be like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this for myself. I have to do stuff for everybody else. Like, do that for yourself. Like, do a little cheat thing. Like, I'm going to do it for myself anyway. And that's good. That's good. A good practice. That's what I'm doing for 2024. I'm going to start loving on myself. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to love on myself again. It's like, wow. Love at first sight, me. Anyway, the Bible, some parts of the Bible say, don't be a lover of self. And I thought about that. I'm like, okay, I get it. You don't want to be a narcissist, but you should definitely be a lover of yourself. And I haven't forgotten that I told you guys yesterday that even Jesus made mistakes, or a mistake, I should say. I got that information for you, but I'm not going to do that on my walk and talk. I'm going to just do like a lesson. However, before I get started on the topic in the title, I just want to tell you guys about how excited I am that I am finding out that other people have experienced what I have experienced regarding the paranormal. I already knew it, but now more and more people are coming out, and they've named these entities. They call them these dark watchers, or there's this thing or this person or entity that has been in my family, in our lives. When I say in my family, it's been watching us, interacting with us throughout my lifetime, throughout even my mom's lifetime. And I have so many different stories about it. I've told periodically, like different live streams, I've told it throughout my life. But, with certain people, certain communities, I try not to tell this information because you just don't want to hear it. Like, I shared a picture on a live stream that I did on the HOK, and I showed my daughter jumped off of a swing. Oh, no, it wasn't. That's a different picture. My daughter actually was on a park bench. And then I took a picture, and she was like, two of her were in the picture. And then somebody's like, oh, you can see the bench leg is something's been messed with the picture. And that wasn't even the case, but I just got upset because it's very sensitive for me as far as that particular picture. So I didn't understand why I saw my daughter in double exposure from a cell phone. It wasn't like actual film. And so what I'm saying is, I just don't really share a lot of that information with the public, but I'm going to share the information now. Good morning. I'm going to share the information now because recently I had a recent encounter with this particular thing or entity or person, whatever it is. So it's like, okay, let me tell you something. It's this big, it's this tall, I want to say man, because the voice and the way it feels, the energy. So it's like this tall, I was a little girl. I must have been 3 or 4. I knew I wasn't in kindergarten yet. So, and please hit the like button. I might change the title and just talk about this because actually this is way more interesting in my opinion. I just had questions about the relationship stuff. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so I'm walking by some people, so I don't want them to be like, what the hell? All right, so good morning. So let me think. Oh, so this thing, I'm just going to describe it. Before I heard any of these stories, I have been telling this to everyone. This thing has appeared several times in my life. The first time it appeared, for sure, this particular thing. Okay, I've seen other entities, spirits, apparitions, whatever you want to call them. But this thing, okay, so I was little. We were playing outside. It was like monsoon season here in Arizona. And let me go change the title real quick because I just feel like I need to change the title. This is what I'm going to talk about. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Give me just 1 second. Okay, guys. Much better. Can you hear me okay? And I get to look in the chat again. Peace, James Davis. Have you done more research on it? Oh, I didn't even do the research on it because it's something that's been happening in my life. I mean, before, but I have heard things here and there. I stopped really looking at stuff that talks about like UFOs and all the what's it called? Cryptozoology. So, but then I just recently started looking again because I had a recent visitation. Heard about this a lot. Oh, you have, great. All right, guys. So I'm gonna not look in the chat. You know I love you. Just let's have some fun and talk about this. Okay, just go crazy in the chat. Share your stories because what I'll do is I'll go back and read it and I'll be like, oh, that's so cool. Okay, so going back to my first encounter with this particular thing, right? If anybody knows about the Southwest, there's a lot of paranormal stuff going on anyway. People would call them UAPs or UFOs, but we're not even fazed by that out here. Like, not like, oh yeah, we're so bad, but come on. You hear about Roswell in New Mexico and all kinds of stuff going on. Like, you know, you hear about government bases, underground bases in the desert. That's all real. Because I remember once I was driving to, it had to be 2 in the morning. We were driving from, I think, California, always from California to Arizona. And way out in the desert, you could see like an excavator, a digger, um, working with the light on the front of it, like digging. And you're like, back then it was so normal to us. Like, I didn't really think about it. But as I got older and started finding out more about this, I was like, wait a minute. Why would a digger be out in the middle of the desert at 2 a.m. digging? Duh. Okay, so I digress. Now that could be anything, but this is actually what happened. I can do a polygraph test. I put it on everything, you know, I'm not lying on this. But people who know. So, and there's a connection with them with birds too, by the way. So, I'm in the bed. Oh, we're playing outside. It was like monsoon season, tumbleweeds blowing around. When we were little, my mom and they'd be like, "Yeah, go outside if you want." Like we weren't like, "Oh, scared of lightning and some dust." When we were kids, we didn't know any better. My family, things were different with parents. I'm really drawing this out because I want you to get a good visual, right? So, by the way, the neighborhood was a new development, meaning it had never been it was literally a desert, like thick brush, that whole area, because it was rural at first. It used to be rural. It wasn't like urban or city like it is now. It's it was rural. So there's an area called Lavine. People know all about it, but before it was Lavine, it was just Phoenix. And people had animals. We raised chickens, ducks, cows, goats, sheep, bulls, of course, pigs, everything. And so my family, my father's family, they owned that part of they bought lots of land, I guess, in our neighborhood because they were developing, meaning whatever realty company was developing that area. And so they what I'm getting at is it was like the boonies. Get it? Well, you get what I'm saying? It was like no telling what it was. There was just thick cacti and all kinds of different, just thick brush. So they cleaned it all out, made it a neighborhood, and that was our street. So my dad and my uncles lived on that street as well. So we had our cousins, my dad and my uncle, and then my other uncle. We all lived on the street because they bought their houses on the same street. So we're playing, and this thing comes down out of the sky. Like, imagine a mountain coming down. Now, remember, I'm a little kid. Imagine like a huge mountain coming down, but it's not a mountain. It's like round, meaning it's like disc shaped. Okay. And it wasn't daytime. It was just at dusk. Okay. So it was just at dusk. The sun was down. We're having fun, running around, getting sweaty. My brother's drinking out of the water hose, but I'm like, ew, we're going in the house to get water, that kind of stuff, kids in and out. And it was summer. And so this thing comes down. We're riding our bikes down by the way, our house is at the end of the street, the opposite end of where this thing came down. But my uncles, their two houses are right off of this field. It was a field at this time where the street stopped at that end of that field. It wasn't developed. It was still brush and like real, just imagine wilderness. Okay. All right. So they're riding their bikes back and forth. We're doing our roller skates, whatever. You get the scene. And this thing comes down. And of course, we're kids. We're like, oh my gosh, spaceship, because we knew what spaceships were, obviously. We're like, spaceship, let's go back home. My cousins went to their parents, and we went to our parents. And we're like telling our mom and dad, and my dad's like, what? And then my uncles come down, and they're like all concerned looking, and my aunts, their wives, are like, oh my God, we're all in chaos, running around laughing. The boy, well, some of us are crying, some of them laughing, the boys are laughing. And my dad gets his rifle, and my uncles get their rifles, and they're like, we're going to go check it out. One of the cousins, I don't know, well, the older ones, watch the kid. No, that's not true. My dad said, we're going to check it out. Then my mom and my aunts follow my dad and my uncles, and they say to one of the older kids or two, just watch the kids. But then we follow too, right? So we're following, and we're all walking. there's this thing in the field, and it has, imagine lights around the sides of it, like around the perimeter, really just like in the movies. It's a oval shaped, like huge pill shaped thing. So like it's got like not peaked at the top. Like if you imagine, I'm giving you a visual, like a hamburger, right? But it's got where you look at the hamburger, the bun, but then the lights would be like where the meat is. So I'll give you an idea, right? So that's the lights going around that area. And I remember the dust blowing out, like being disturbed coming up, because there was air coming from underneath it, and the dust was everywhere in the field because it was very dusty where it landed. So we're walking down. My dad's walking down. My mom and my aunts are walking down. My dad and my uncle, and my aunt, and we're walking behind. And I'm not kidding you. This is a very like everybody knows everybody in this neighborhood. These cars, it must be 2 or 3 black cars, come driving down the street and park, blocking my family from going any further to where the field is. And these guys say, these men get out, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, we're with Luke Air Force Base. We're just you know, they were kind of like blowing it off, like this is just a new aircraft that we're testing out, and we just landed it here." Whatever they said, but get it? They're like, "Don't worry about it." And my dad and them, they were relieved. Like my dad wasn't like, "Oh, I think this is a conspiracy." He wasn't like that back then, right? He's like, "Oh, okay, thank you." Right. So I don't know what else happened because I'm a kid. We have to go in the house and take baths and get ready for bed, right? Um, so now this is where I can't really remember if it was that night or the next night, but I'm about to tell you about this thing, right? So I'm not even saying that it came off of that thing, but I have to. I mean, I'd be remiss to not tell you that happened before that. So my sister and I have an older sister. We shared a room, and I'm in my bed, and she's in her bed, and I'm. This is after that night. It wasn't that night. It might have been because you know how I'm. Come on, I was 3 or 4, but I can't remember back to things when I was 2 years old. But basically, I'm in the bed, and this thing. Let me let this man pass by. Hold on, let me look at the chat. Moses says the universe did not to be homeless. Okay, yeah, I changed the topic, Moses. Did I change the topic, you guys? Coming back for revenge, maybe that might be in physical, but this wasn't really. I'm in Texas, and a coworker a few days ago saw a spaceship before going to work in the sky, and it disappeared. I got videos. I believe you. I've seen them many times. Oh, okay, guys. Much love to you. So, I don't want to be, even though it's real, I don't want people that are walking by me hearing me talk about it. You never know. Might be an agent. No, just kidding. So, anyway, maybe that night, maybe a night after or the night following, but it was very close to the time it happened. I'm a little girl lying in bed sleeping. I open my eyes. There is this, let me just describe it the way I remember it. Taller than my mom, dad by couple feet. Maybe it's 7 feet tall. Tall ass man standing at the foot of my bed, you guys. Oh my Lord. And I'm getting, okay, so he's standing at the foot of my bed, but it's dark. I can't see. People are like, say, what did he look like? I couldn't see the face, but it was a man, and it was it wasn't intimidating, but shit, it was scary. I'm a little kid. Why is this man standing at my foot of my bed? And I know it's not my dad or mom. It's a giant. And it's at the foot of my bed. and it's dark. And so it's just there. And then my sister wakes up because it starts going toward me and it picks me up out of my bed. Yes. And anyone out there saying, "No, Nepal's a compulsive liar, Nepal," just why don't you just eat some glass and lay down somewhere? I'm so sick of people. But I'm sharing a story that I've been sharing since I was little. So anybody can verify that this is something that actually happened to me before social media, anything. So sorry to say eat glass, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm so tired of these people. So let me just finish. Okay, calm down. So it picks me up. And when it's picking me up, like I remember feeling the heaviness of the thing. Like this, I guess you could call it strength, but back then I could just feel those big, heavy arms and like heavy body. And it was picking me up. And my sister said, "Leave her alone, mister." And all I remember is seeing her, because I'm terrified. I can't even do anything. I can't scream. I'm that type of person, by the way. Like, you will get me screaming, like if it's a jump scare. But if it's real, something about me, you know how you see in those dinosaur movies and like Jurassic Park when people are just frozen staring at the dinosaur coming? That would totally be me. I get like, it's a weird shock, like frozen for a minute when things happen. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I have to process it in that way, but I digress. So I look over at her and then she just goes quiet because it looked at her. Now, in my dramatic mind, it put its hand up like silenced her, but it wasn't even like that. It looked at her and she was just silent. Maybe she got scared too. And it starts walking away with me through the bedroom door down our hallway. I vividly remember that. I remember just being carried and it's looking down at me. And oh my God, I'm getting emotional somehow. Because now I don't think it was like bad. You know, back then you get all these, I don't know, but I remember my ear was up against its chest and I could hear, this sounds funny, but while it was walking, I could hear like boom, boom, boom. Like that's how heavy its steps were. And even since then, we've called it in our family the Bigfoot demon, but I don't like calling it a demon anymore, or maybe demons aren't bad. I don't know. But we just always call it the Bigfoot demon. Everybody, my mom, my sisters, brothers, mostly my sisters and my mom. And now my children just call it that because my son has seen it a couple times, but I'll tell that story some other time if I can. So I hear it like the steps are like, boom, boom, boom. Like you can, the heaviest steps. But I still was so terrified, and I looked up at it. I couldn't see the face, though. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe somehow it can make you forget its face, because I remember everything, like the physical shape, and that it was just dark, a dark, dark thing. So I black out or whatever. I'm out. I'm like, okay, time to just faint or whatever. I'm out when he's walking down the hallway with me. I come to, and now we're outside. And he's walking me down to where that thing landed, the field. So he's on the street outside of our house. Like we are in front of my parents' house. And I wake up and I look at it, but I can't, again, I can't see a face. But it says to me, it said, "There's something I want to show you," or "I want to show you something." And when it talked to me, because the voice was not like mine, it was like, "I want to show you." It was so deep. It sounds funny, but how do people, you know how they do that demonic voice? Like, we're going to do, how do people know that is how it sounds? Because when you hear people doing that scary voice, they always do it like a really deep demonic voice. And that is how his voice was. He's like, "I want to show you something." And he's walking me toward the field. And of course, that was like, oh. I'm fainting again. I'm gone. I'm out. I blacked out again. But I woke up and I was in my bed. The next time I woke up, I was in my bed. And my sister, I know people say, oh, maybe it was a dream. It wasn't a dream because my sister, from that point on, whenever she, you know how when you're little, kids want to like maybe say, come on, let's go do this. And then you're like, no, I'm going to stay here and do this. And then my sister would be walking away going, okay, mister's going to get you. And that would make me come with her. So I know it was real. Just like every time I remember that, I was like telling her that recently. She's like, I didn't do that to you, but I remember that thing. I was like, yes, you did. She's like, okay, mister's going to get you. Something. Okay, so anyway, so that was the first time I encountered one of those. Now, there's so many other things I could tell you about when I was little, the things I used to see in our house. I believe that that possibly could be a like a some kind of sacred. Oh my goodness, this man scared the shit. Somebody rode up behind me. I'm scaring myself right now. Oh God, somebody just drove by me on a bicycle and rode by me. Oh my God, that scared me. Okay, I'm scaring myself with this story. Um, yeah, but I don't think it was evil though, because it continued to come visit us, like me and my mom sometimes. And it came, there's another significant, memorable time that it came, and I was, my son was born, and I would put my child down for a nap my children took naps. So some people don't do that because they say it disrupts bedtime at night. But anyway, so I was putting my son down for the nap. He was maybe 3, just like I was at the time. Maybe he was 3 or 4. Yeah, same age like me. And I'm lying there, and well, he's lying down, you on the side of him, and I'm telling him stories and patting his back, like go to sleep, like really trying to get him in the rhythm of relaxing. And I'm in the room, but my door is open, and in our living room, there's like a bar area, and the thing was there, it was standing there looking at me through the door. And I saw it, and my son saw it because he was terrified. He said, Mom, I'm scared. And I was like, don't be scared. And it was like, with that deep voice, it goes, you're not doing it right. Let me show you how to do it. Talking about I wasn't putting my son to sleep right. It said, you're not doing it right. Let me show you how to do it. And when it said that, it started to walk toward me, and you could hear that sound, that heavy step again, like boom, boom, boom. And it was walking toward me. And my son, I'm like, I'm okay. You don't have to show me how to put him to sleep. But I didn't say that. I was just like, back then, I was terrified. So I started doing what I knew how to do. I was Christian, really strong Christian, and I still love Jesus. I still am a follower of and a belief in Jesus, Yeshua. But back then I thought it was evil, so I was rebuking. But guess what? I couldn't speak. I couldn't do it. So let me take that. Let me be clear. I was trying to say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I couldn't even say it. I was trying to say it so badly, you guys. Like, and I wasn't asleep. I was awake, wide awake. And I was like, I was trying to say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. So it was coming, it kept coming closer. And then it disappeared. And I just let out this little whisper like this. I went, Jesus. After it disappeared, I remember that so strongly. Like, once it disappeared, it was like just a whisper. It wasn't I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I just go, Jesus. And that was so crazy for me. Like, it felt like a relief. Like I had released something, like I was relieved of something. Because I was struggling to like, I'm going to rebuke it. I'm going to rebuke it. Okay, so that was one time. Now, there are other times, but these are like the biggest, most, like, memorable moments actually when actually the reason I figured it out because this is when someone else witnessed it with me. My mom had one or two, but really one big one where she was sitting in her chair, same house. Well, not the one I just told you. That was in my home, but in my parents' home, my mom was sitting in her chair, and then she describes it as a big Hulk man, like a Hulk like creature. She said, but it was, she goes, but it was dark brown. And she said she didn't see the face again. She's like, but it was a dark, dark brown thing. And she said that thing came just, she has her chair by the window where she has her coffee, for the morning, just chilling out, peaceful. This is in the morning. Now, the thing with me where I told you about just previously, it was in the afternoonish. And then the one before that, when I was a little girl, that was at night. So anyway, my mom's sitting in her chair, and then the thing just like manifests, like into her living room. But it didn't just come like in the movies, like like Star Trek. You see them like make this grand entrance. She said it just as if it was just walking down the hallway. It just appeared walking, and it was walking toward her. And she said it was walking really fast toward her, like with determination, so to speak. That's the word she uses. And or the way she's described it, I should say, not that word. But she's like, it was walking toward me like it had a mission, doing so. It was, and she said she jumped up so fast, hit the door, went outside, her keys, but grabbed her keys, went outside, and sat in the car and would not go back in the house until my brother came over. And, so that was one for her. Now, another one for me, again, it's always this big thing or like shadowy. So I'm over my sister's house, and I told the story before, but so we're watching. This is before the actual thing appeared. So before the thing appeared, we're watching this goofy, dumb Ricky Smiley, I think, comedy video, which is not even my type of comedy. I don't like him. He's not funny. But for some reason, it was so funny to us. And we were watching it, and he was making jokes, which we shouldn't even be laughing at that as far as our energy goes. We were laughing because he's making funeral jokes about how Black people act and stuff. And we were like, oh, this is so funny, which it wasn't even funny. I don't know what was so wrong with us. So my husband at the time, he's at work, and we're watching it all day. We're thinking it's so funny. I don't know what kind of madness we were in. But we're like, I'm like, you gotta see this video when you get off work. And he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna bring this guy, my coworker, my friend, by, because we were gonna grill. So his friend comes by, and he's there. We're all there, and we're like, let's put on the video now. We're eating. After we ate, we put on the video, and we're watching it, and it's not funny at all. I mean, we're not laughing. We're just wondering, my sister and I are feeling so uncomfortable, like, how the hell is this so dumb and not funny? And I feel something behind me, but I think it's the Rottweiler, her dog, but it's like our dog. And she thinks, later on she told me, oh yeah, I felt something behind me too. We're all sitting on the sofas. Like there's two sofas. My husband's sitting with the guy, then I'm sitting on another sofa with my sister. And she's like, yeah, I thought that it was she says the name of my ex-husband. She said, I thought it was him getting up and getting something. You know how you feel somebody behind you? But we just said, oh, it must be somebody. And people might say, well, he wasn't sitting right there, but it's not like that. You're zoned into the show. People get up, get drinks and stuff. So we're just sitting there watching, uncomfortable because it's not funny. And we've been like hyping it up. And then all of a sudden, this black shadow man just manifests in the center of the room, just right in front of all of us. It's right in the center of the room. There's a TV, my husband at the time, and his friend on the peripheral, and then my sister and me on another sofa. And then there's a fireplace. It's like, it's right in the middle. We're jumping up, screaming, running around. Oh my God, what is that? And it's just in the middle right there. And the guy's not jumping up though. My ex-husband, my husband at the time, he's like, here's the dog. We did a whole recap. He's like, he went to let the dog out, like, get him, boy. You know what I mean? And the dog is like, this dog is a calm dog. It is barking, and he's a scary dog too for a Rottweiler. He's literally throwing himself against the wall. The dog is like going crazy, like running from side to side, banging against the wall, barking at that thing. And but he doesn't like do that whole like in the movies. He's like, ruff, 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 and he's like banging. I mean, this is a big dog. It's like 100 pounds. He's huge, but he's boom, hitting against the wall. And so I'm looking at the thing, my sister's screaming, and then I'm like, I step forward to it, and I'm laughing at myself right now. This was a long time ago. I was like, I rebuke you, go, I rebuke you. And it just still didn't go though. That's why I'm laughing. I was like, I rebuke you. And it's just like, what the heck? No, it was just standing there. And I said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And it was just there, kind of like just a person silhouette, like a black shadow, big ass shadow man. And it's like, maybe 7 feet, 6, 7 feet. And then it floats, kind of like does a, moonwalk, walk/float to the left of us toward the wall. Then it goes up against the wall and it floats up one side of the wall to the right. Then it does like a U on the wall and that goes to the other side on the left. And then it goes back to the center and it just disappears. So, yeah, that was crazy. So, let me see what you guys are talking about. So those are the pitch black ones are tall and you can't see their eyes because they're black also. Oh, really? That's interesting. What color are the ones you see? They're black. I see green ones that have skin like snakes and they have big white eyes with black pupils. Wow. Well, my mom said the one she saw was a dark brown, like chocolate brown. They show up every time the moon is full. Oh, really? Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I have to look into that. Hybrid Cypher says, I think I've definitely seen ghosts. But no, go on, please. Okay. God, please keep going about the what? The camera. Okay, I will. I'm going to keep talking about this more because it is definitely important. And these are things that I've actually experienced. And then when I look at the piece, James Davis, when I actually experience it, and I read other people's, and I listen to other people's comments and stories, I'm going to tell you something. You guys, they show up every. Let me tell you, when I was watching last night, I just started binging out. I was, I was getting emotional. I'm an emotional person. I'm very sentimental. So I start crying sometimes because the stuff that I heard, I was like, yep, that happened to me. Yep, that's right. Like this lady told a story. Now, this isn't my story. This is not my story. This is not my story. This woman told a story how she woke up, once again, talked about how it's standing at the foot of the bed. That's something they like to do. And I think that sleep paralysis is them. Okay, let me just give you the background before let me tell you her story. She said she woke up, it was at the foot of her bed, and she said to it, where's my son? Because she had a 3-month-old baby and the baby wasn't with her while she's sleeping. And then it told her, he's watching TV. They have that kind of, that's how they talk. Like, you know how I said the one was like, I want to show you something. Or I think it was like, there's something I want to show you. That's what it said. It said, I want to show you something. And then it also said the other time, like, you're not doing it right. Let me show you how to do it. And then with her, she said it was like, he's watching TV. When she said, where's my son? He goes, he's watching TV. And she's like, bullshit, my son's 3 months. No, she didn't say it like that. I'm just joking. But she said in her mind, she's thinking, he's lying because my son's only 3 months. He wouldn't be watching television. So she said, I jumped out of bed and ran to the living room to find my son. And my son was sitting there on his dad's lap and they were watching TV. So that's when I thought, oh, you didn't lie. Maybe it's not bad. I feel the same way. They're not, it's not now. Hold on. This is my theory, and from what I've been meditating on, fasting and you got to fast to really get a good signal, right? What I'm saying is like to get information. So these are, I'm tweaking it, but just stay with me. These are things that have always been here forever. Like they are in the earth. They live here. They're like creatures, and they can manifest themselves into anything because they've mastered that ability that we haven't. We're not evolved like. Oh, damn it. Just when it was getting good, I got a phone call. Okay, my battery is DEAD. Okay, so I got to finish this up. So hear me out. Lord have mercy. Bless the angels and the demons. So here we go. I'm really live right now. Okay. All right. I'm gonna see if you guys can hear me after all that. So these things, and I got to do another video on it. So they've always been in the earth. They are like a part of the earth, right? Just like we are, but they're evolved. And that's why we have all these stories about the Nephilim, the Anunnaki, the Elohim, the creators, the netters. It's them. And oh my God, you guys. Okay, I didn't get to tell you about the orbs. I'm seeing a light right now. Let me turn on my camera. See, they're always now. Oh my God, it's fading! It's fading! No, I gotta let you see that on the tree. Okay, I'm going forward. What is that light? They always are connected to like lights too. Like they love to. Oh shit, it's fading, you guys. Can you guys see it? Okay, I'm gonna keep walking toward it. Now, let me be clear. I see a light from this far away. You see that tree far away from me? See that tree all the way down there, right? Now, I see a light shining. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see if I can enlarge it. I see a light shining. Stay with me. Why am I seeing this bright light on a tree? Because that's another thing. They love to show orbs of light and on the walls and everything. Now, when I get close to it, even if it's a piece of chewing gum, bubble gum wrapper, that's not the point. The point is, this is them. Like they signal to you. You get what I'm saying or no? I'm going to keep walking. Oh my God, this is so awesome that this is happening live. And it's getting brighter when I walk closer. I hope you guys could see that. You can't. Let me get closer. Holy shit. Yeah, I didn't even get to tell you. See, now it's fading. Wait. I want to make sure I stay right here. Please, God, let it be on the video. Where is it? Okay, that tree right there. That tree. It's so bright I can't even see if you guys can see the tree. I'm walking toward it. Okay. Are you not seeing this? Are you seeing this? Like I said, even if I get here and it's like, oh, Nepal, you're so stupid. That's a Christmas tree light. It doesn't matter. Why am I seeing this light signaling to me on the tree? Why? I walk here all the time. I never see a damn light. Oh my God. And it's Christmas tree lights. This is so awesome. Do you see that? You don't see that. You don't see that. That thing that's reflecting the light toward me. Somebody wrapped this tree with. So that's my point. They signal you with light. Do you guys not see it? Tell me you see it, please. I'm gonna get a one in the chat if you see it. Do you see it? Anybody? Do you see the thing reflecting? Do you see the light? Put a one in the chat if you see it. Oh my God! They always signal through light. So you know how sometimes a candle will flicker or a light will come on or a light will go off, or even they put orbs of light on the wall and you won't know where the light came from, or a light will float in the air, or like I said, they'll use something to show a light. I was far away. You saw how far I walked, right? Why is it that look, can you guys see that? Somebody say something. Oh, so you see it, Ben Frank? That light, it's like tinsel. Why would somebody wrap tinsel on the tree? Number one, that's also bizarre, but I know a human did it, but it's still unusual. And this is what I was going to I want you to understand. They know that when you're one of the darkest minds, you are profound. You understand how they connect. It's not always going to be like something phenomenal like, oh, spaceship came down, but they definitely will signal to you like through animals, through nature, through birds. So you guys see that light, that reflection of the sun. It's like looks like a light, right, on the tree. And when I back up more, it looks even more phenomenal because how am I seeing this light? I walk here all the time, number one. And how did I see it as a light? And again, remember, they are connected to light. They signal you with light, even though they're dark. They signal you with light. So let me get close and show you what it is. Look at this. That little star. Look at that. You guys see that? Do you see that thing? I'm going to snatch it off and take it. Do you see this? My messed up nails. Anyway, do you see that? Oh, yeah. Oh, putting this in my pocket. I'm going to go home and do a little ritual with it. Anyway, so wow, that was so awesome on my live because I didn't even get to the part where I said there's other things. There'll be balls like orbs of light up against the wall. I have pictures. We stood in front of it. We turned off all the lights. We cupped our hands over it. It was still an orb of light on the wall. We were like, what is it reflecting from? So let me be clear. Remember, these things control all. They have power. They've been here so long. They can manipulate the elements, like in all the stuff that you read about, not only in science fiction but actually in like quantum theory and different types of like phenomenal paranormal science as well. No, quantum theory is not paranormal science. Pseudo Gilligan's Island. So don't try to get me. All right. So, but what I'm saying is, you hear things morphing or changing shape, matter. They got that down pat, guys. They have no problem with that. They have no problem with that. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, we're bored with manipulating the elements. We want to deal with these creatures, kind of like how we. Now, not all of them. Some of them are very bad, just like humans. Some of them abduct humans and eat them and torture them and play with their lives, just like us, how some of us treat animals. But most of them, I think, most of them are benevolent, and they've been here. And not only, when I say they've been here, it doesn't mean that they're only earthly. They are what I say are what people would call heavenly beings. Like when I say the serpent is them. That's the serpent people, the Nagas, the Nephilim, the Anunnaki. These are not just, so you'll hear about how they made it with humans. That's why they're called Nephilim. But when they mate with humans, they unfortunately, from research and from just, we can go over why, but they become very vicious and violent and narcissistic and just destructive. And why? Why do you think? I think it's because the DNA, when you have one mate with a human right away, like in the first generation, I think that because their DNA is so potent and so strong and unadulterated and so like powerful, somehow when it mixes with the DNA of like a lesser being. Now, sidebar, we're lesser beings because we haven't um chosen to. Some of us are lesser beings, but we're becoming. We don't have to be the same DNA as them, because at the end of the day, yes, they have a DNA that's basic. Well, stay with me. When they first were here, wherever they manifested from, which I think it might have been like, for lack of better things, a meteor, but wherever they came, or maybe they just came from another realm, another way, right? So when they first came here, they had an actual type of DNA form. Like they had to have a basic DNA. They couldn't just come and say, "Oh, I'm here and I'm going to be in." Oh my God. Okay, guys, I'm tripping. Why is there a Black Hawk in the sky right now? And don't see. That's why I stopped talking about this stuff, because people say, "Oh, Nepal, you're crazy." Well, why is there a Black Hawk in the sky? I'm going to tell you right now. So much crazy stuff has happened to me with this stuff. And when I had stopped talking about it, there's a Black Hawk in the sky. A black. Oh my God! Can I not enlarge this? Jeez, I wish you could see it. Can you hear it? Can you hear that helicopter? It's not just a helicopter. It's a Black Hawk helicopter. I'm telling you, this is so crazy. That's why I don't even get on the internet and talk about this, because there's so many clowns. Listen, there's some stuff that I've been through that I don't even talk about. And I'm talking about heavy duty stuff. I talk about sometimes, but I left it alone because there's too many people who just don't deserve to listen to it. But I'm going to get back to talking about it. Oh my gosh, that was wild. So there's so many more stories. When I was my previous marriage, he used to make fun of me like a little bit, like before he saw the stuff happen. Then once he saw it, he never made fun of me again. Then he changed to, "Oh, it's because, you're putting out the energy, gaslight." No diss on him, but it's like, at first it was like it wasn't real. And once he saw it himself, he's like, "You're putting the energy out," but making it like it's a negative thing. But anyway, I was saying, these things are real. They are what people call Bigfoot, the watchers in the California mountains. They're not just in California, you know. I look so big, by the way, when I'm doing my reflection. It's because I have a huge hoodie on. Anyway, y'all don't care about that. We're into some other stuff here. So that's about it. Because my battery's dying, y'all. My battery's dying, you guys. Anyway, let me see what Ebony Queen says and just go through this real quickly. We'll talk about this more later. Says, okay. Moses says, they have no problem performing shapeshift because they are manifestations of the universe that created everything. That is, I can definitely go with that. I agree. Um, Ebony says, peace, Ebony Queen. People not spiritually inclined, so they say it's crazy. Yes, that's right, Queen. Wisdom Show says, I just saw a literal Black Hawk. Yes. Did you see where you are? Because I'm telling you, it's beyond. See, it's not silly for us to say, you saw it here, I saw it there. Or I saw it here, you saw it there. There's a connection there's so much technology itself, because you have to talk to the ones who are, have you ever heard about, what's it called, to skull? God, it used to be called radio to skull. Like they can actually send messages in your brain if they want to. And they actually have something in California where you walk toward this billboard and you can hear it talking to you in your head. I'm not playing with you guys. It's real. And you hear the billboard like saying stuff to you in an advertisement. So Ben Frank says, yes, communication with Earth, yes. So they're all the stories, even the Neanderthals, those are the Nephilim that they had, like the offspring. You heard about Neanderthals, how they're like, Neanderthals used to hunt Homo sapiens and eat Homo sapiens. And they were like giants and they had like inhuman strength, even though they were considered humans. They were so strong, and they would take human Homo sapien women and they would mate with them, and they kept mating. Of course, the women down the line would mate with new, like the offspring, the female of them, or even the male would mate with Homo sapiens. And to this day, there's Neanderthal DNA in a lot of people. Now, people, when you say Neanderthal, they're like, oh, that's bad. I don't think it's bad or good. I just know it's a type of human, a type of person. Um, the Neanderthals were not these stupid, brute beasts. To be honest, the more I see mankind today, they were more behaving like we behave now. How we destroy animals for no reason, prey on each other, just me, eat. That's how the Neanderthals were. But they were organized, and they had their gods, and they had everything, and their gods were their ancestors. Which, see the connection. The older and more ancient the civilization is, the more they worshipped their ancestors. Why? Because they knew their ancestors were really the gods of this earth. Now, are they the only gods? No. There is only one unfathomable God, even in Kabbalah. Oh, she's talking about Kabbalah now, yo. Even in Kabbalah, you have the Ein Sof, and the Kabbalah tree. You understand? Like the Sefer, the crown, wisdom, Da'at, knowledge, all that good stuff. I think Da'at is knowledge. Don't quote me. But yeah, this is good. I was going to ask some questions about women, especially women and relationships, but I'll ask that later, because that is a good topic, though. The thing about women I was going to cover, because I'm noticing so many women are, ooh, you guys, I'm getting a deep thought. So many women are turning to lesbianism, and just like, they're not even trying to go both ways. They're just like, I want to be a lesbian. Like, and I'm talking about late in life, like relationships that they've already had children grown up, and then they just go to being lesbians. I know one particular woman who is middle-aged, not even middle-aged, she's a senior citizen now, but I knew her when she was in her 40s, and she was a mom with kids, and then she went into a relationship with a woman who was a lesbian from the moment she was like in puberty. You know what I mean? So there's different lesbians. There's ones who they've always been lesbians, but lately there's a ton of new lesbians who are just like, people say, well, that makes sense to say we're just bisexual. No, there's something else going on. And when I said I had deep thought, it's also making me think, like, going back to the beginning. Yes, I know some of you people are uncomfortable with this, men and women, but in the beginning, there was a very strong feminine spirit and feminine energy of, like, it wasn't abnormal to just be only like women, and not women in the way of like gynocracy. I'm not talking about toxicity. It was just more, if you could look at it as like when you go to a family thing, Dad is definitely honored and present, but mom is like, go give grandma a hug, or go give mom a hug, or what's mama doing? Where's mom? And you only miss mom when she's not around, right? She's like cooking, passing out gifts, or to lighting the candles, whatever kind of culture you indulge in, or rituals and traditions. But when she's not there, you feel the loss. So I'm saying like that healing type of feminine strength. But I'm not saying that lesbianism is healing. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that it's toxic either. Okay. It's like saying alcohol is bad, red meat is horrible. I'm not a lesbian. I'm a strong heterosexual, meaning I know myself. Like, I have no interest in having sexual relations with women, but other women do. And I respect people for that. I don't respect people who abuse me. I'm talking about I respect people if they want to do what they want to do. So I digress. What I'm saying is maybe there's this return to, you can take it as bad or good, talk about Sodom and Gomorrah if you want to. That's all good. I can ride with you on that. But it seems like we're going back to the basics. Because in the beginning, it was woman. And yes, in the beginning, woman. I mean, the beginning, I'm talking about right out the dirt. Women, people laugh about parthenogenesis. I say parthenogenesis. People say partheno. There's another way to say it, parthenogenesis. But people laugh about it. But there's definitely, in the beginning, female species could bring forth life without males having sexual intercourse with them. Then, as they evolve, because that's not the best way, your gene pool isn't as diverse, and you need a diverse gene pool to survive. So if you're just reproducing, cloning yourself, you're not really doing very good in survival, right? So in evolution, the species started to mix a gene pool. And how did they do that? Well, they needed to do it with a species that's not in their body. And that's when these creatures became male. Now this, have the children leave the room, even though this is just about biology. Their clitoris would elongate, and that made them more capable of getting as close as possible to their cells, sperm cells, reaching the ovum inside of the female. And where once before the female didn't need that, because first the female was just reproducing on with parthenogenesis, and then the female became androgynous and was male and female within the body, but that still wasn't as efficient. Then in evolution, those male female androgynous beings, some of them through natural selection, whatever you want to call it, they became male. And then those males, even though the females were on androgynous, I'm saying the females, the originals, they still opted out. I want to mate with this different type of creature who's got the tools that I actually like. You know what I mean? It makes sense. I'm sure there's tons of science and research on that, and I just put it together just through the spirit of the darkest mind of the light. you know Now what I do, this is how I do. People say, well, how do you come out with that? I think about it. I've learned things. I read, obviously, but then I just put it together like I did, and then I go do the research to see, is there any scientific fact that can support this besides parthenogenesis, of course, and evolution? And then I'll go say, oh, lo and behold, I'll take this. Okay, I'll take that. Evolution, got it. Natural selection. Okay, adaptation, even. I'll take a little of that. And then I put a lesson together, or just an interesting so-called lecture. This is just a rant, though. All right, guys, I'm going to. Is my? Let me see. My phone isn't dead, is it? Okay, guys. Interesting. Peace, Skinny Head TV. Remember, we are jumped. Remember, we jumped Cedric on this topic. I know, did we? Yes, we did. I got to get him again. Thank you, Skinny. I gotta I'm on Cedric right now. He left a comment for me saying, "I'm coming for you, Napa. Don't think that I haven't been watching you. You think that your information is correct, but actually, it's not correct at all. In fact, you need to learn the terms before you start discussing quantum mechanics. You don't know what you're talking about, Napa. You're cute, but you don't know what you're talking about." Shout out to the professor. Anyway, y'all. All right, peace. Let me see. Carnegie Vance, peace to you. Peace to everybody. I love you. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you for commenting and your input, everybody. Ebony Queen, Ben Frank, Moses, 777, Monster Mouth. I work in a prison. Ghost all over. Ooh, I would love to talk to you about that. Email me if you want to come on and just talk about that. That'd be awesome. Greg, peace to you. Greg Phillips. Shake Sonic says, "Might be lovely. Bless you, my queen. Aw, bless you. Thank you for the love." Hybrid Cipher says, "This is fascinating, Pa. Thank you so much for sharing. You're so welcome. I would love to keep doing this conversation. I want it to go both ways. I don't want to be the only one sharing. I want to hear from everyone else. That's what I mean. Both ways. You know how they say pause. That's just so bringing it down to a different level, but I couldn't resist. Fasting is life. I love that name. The ancestors are coming back. Okay. I think that's everyone. James Davis, Ben Frank, Lady Divine. Yeah. So anyway, peace to the beautiful darkest minds of light. See, now we're going to have, our day has to go well. Even all the crazy stuff that's going to probably happen, you just go like, oh, that's meant to happen. This is actually metaphysical science. Go into your higher mind by taking a deep breath. If you have to close your eyes for a minute, do so. And then just focus on the center of your brain, your center of your mind. Whatever image you see, focus on that. And then tell yourself, this is the best thing, that everything that happens to me today is the best. And I mean it. I know some of the stuff that could happen could be really rough, but if you understand that you are moving in your higher self, and I need somebody to remind me of this a lot. You know, I'm not the untouched, unadulterated orb of truth and light. I need to be reminded of this as well. Like, as long as you understand that it's your best thing to happen to you because you are functioning in your best way. Now, when things bad happen, when we have obstacles, we have to say, well, I must be doing something wrong. And I know myself, my thing that I did wrong, I don't love my soul child enough. And so my soul child says, oh, okay, let me just leave your ass out here. Let me talk to the so-called whatever people say, God, unfathomable God, spirit realm, the watchers even. And be careful. Don't try to go out looking for them. I think somehow they get annoyed with that. If you literally go out and look for them, that doesn't mean they're going to get violent with you. They may try to chase you and scare you, but for the most part, these dark watchers, we would call them the Bigfoot demons. Some people call them dark shadow people. But for the most part, they're so like, generally they're not bad. They're just here watching us. Like, that's what they do. But they just have, they can just do it better than we do. Okay, I'll talk to you more about this later. I was loving on my soul child the other day. Oh my goodness, I love it. Hallelujah. Mm, that's lovely. Keep loving on your soul child. Oh, was it Skinnyhead? Oh, thank you, Skinnyhead. I gotta start doing his voice, but doing like talking about wild things, like things he would never talk about, like, well, the consciousness of the body is light and ether in the ether. No, I'm just kidding. I can't even do him when I'm talking like that. I can't even get him down. It's like I have to get his whole mindset. But anyway, it's all love. Even though I might get really rough on some of the things I say, I have nothing but love for the brother. I was going to say, well, as a person, I respect him. But when he gets into being disingenuous about science, I can't respect that. But as far as people, the pseudo killers, I don't have any problem with them. I don't even know them like that. I just know that they need to stop parroting Chat GPT. Uh-oh, I said too much. Peace and love to all of you. Have a wonderful day. I'll try to come back, my friend. Thank you. I always miss your lives. Well, don't miss my lives. Share this video if you want. Okay, I love you guys. Peace. Thank you for being here.